Hello everybody, this is Spirelli and we are back with the Banner Saga where people are grumpy. Let me look at what we're having here. So, Gunnolf is back. We have some injured, we should rest a bit also to give them some time to recover and be in good morale. And now I just need to talk to her. She is the Nid, the lady who learned how to use the bow alongside riding. I don't know if we've ever spoken. I'm Nid, you're Rook, I know. We've actually been traveling together for a long time. Isn't it strange how you can be so close to people and not know them? Every day I pass people where I've never seen them before. I wanted to thank you for letting me join you. Where are you from? I don't think you're from Skaga. I know most of the people there. No, I had a house in Frostfall, but we were driven out when the Trek started to show up. My husband died trying to protect our home. My son and I were thrown out into the fields. I'm sorry. Ekel's man killed my husband. When we left, I was angry. Why was I the one who had to leave the house? How do I deserve this? You look away momentarily, not sure what to say. But I've let it go. I have 3 sons, and I don't want them to grow up with hatred in their hearts. That's why I wanted to thank you. You've always been such a good shop. Honestly, I never even tried before Olive made me. Spent my whole life making clothes, cleaning. Olive's good, but I don't think it was all her doing. It feels right. I just look where I wanted to go. Anyway, I feel better. The care around the people worrying all day and making problems. Sometimes they really stew in their misery. I'm glad I can do something helpful. You're welcome. We should get going. Don't think anything of it. We all have our own problems to deal with. Let me know if you need me to put an error in something. She returns to her tent where her boys are waiting for her. That's nice. And now that we're all happy and healthy, we can go back on the road and muster the next fight. Better. So it's been a total of 117 days. It's 4 months on the road. It's like, think of that. Lilies line up. This is really cool. Look at that. The stones are going to line up once we walk past them. That is one mighty beard. Nice. The godson of Tundra passes around you. In the frozen climate here, it looks like the rock is split and is fallen apart, held together only by the dead snow. Curiously, when standing between the stones, the wind chops up completely, picking up against once it passes through. I almost wonder if we should rest here for the night, says Ivor, who seems to have noticed the same thing. With all the snow around, the trench might not even be able to find this. Stay here overnight. You walk around camp before settling in. Along each strand of Thunder's massive beard is a different part of the story, and you turn your hat to and fro to read it. While the Loom Mother was the first to create, she soon found a counterpart in Dantra, who embodied her ideals in a masculine form. Dantra took some of her creations, gave them beards to show them the secrets of smithing, though many remember him just as fondly for teaching them games and songs of mirth. As the camp settles in, you notice a group of boys huddled around something. They show you an offering box carved into the godson's cloth. The box is an elaborate construction of interlocked pieces which slide all around when touched. You can't get it open, I tell you, it's like a puzzle. Let me try and open it. Boys take turns working out the puzzle and give you tips when it's your turn, though you don't seem to make much progress. Eventually they leave to sleep and then it's just you and a couple of other determined youngsters. I have a box like that. I have a puzzle box and it's amazing. It's like an escape room box. So I wanna keep working on it. It's hard to know how long you spend sliding around these smooth puzzle pieces, but when people begin emerging from their tents, you know you're in trouble, exhausted from a long sleepless night. While still, the box remains closed as you shuffle wearily along with the leaving caravan. Well, that is actually also rather true depiction of what happened with me in the box. Like, there's some things that you can make work, and then suddenly it's like a well-tended farm with plenty of livestock draws the caravan's attention. Upon your arrival, the farmer and his workers stand defensively within plain sight, crude weapons at the ready. The crossed arms make the thoughts clear without a word. I'll offer some kind of trait. I'll tell them to come with us. Because if they come with us, we get the food. We need to get the food. Like, we can't do this. We can't leave them alone. We need to get the food. The question is, should we ask them to join? Does it make it worth it? Is there more food than people? Come with us. You warn the farmers of the approaching judge by the man's says, "This land is my life. I lose that, may I as well be dead." The farmers slowly nod their agreement, neither joining you or lowering their weapons. Like, I don't know whether this means threaten them into coming, but I think if we threaten them into coming, that's not going to be good. But then again, taking their livestock by force. I saved one boy, all of my food burned, and now I need other means to get food. I've been on the road for 4 months. I'm desperate. I'll take it by force. Your horse step forward, unsheathing weapons and practically crawling. The farmer's man blanch and step aside as he chooses the hardiest beast. The farmer has the sense to say nothing, though the expression on his face stays with you for quite a while, even after you are right away. You catch a glance of Alette, who stares at her feet and does not make eye contact with you. Well, it had to be done, I'm sorry. They could have come with me. But then again, you know, people forcing you with them. In the distance, Hawksworth Small is like an old campfire. Even from here, you can see black figures shambling through it. It looks like a dead town, remarks Ivor, confirming your impression. There's usually survivors, all that reminds me. So let's check it out. We just got a lot of food by dooming other people to die, so we can save these people and feel like heroes. I hope others will do the same for me. Treachery, nothing we haven't faced before. Ivor grunts, but otherwise says nothing. Besides, it might throw a billow of the sun to bed. We had a day's march out toward. As soon as you step foot in a small town, you think you've made a mistake. It's thoroughly littered with corpses. With the moments that stretch upon you as you stirred up an angry hornet's nest, you draw your weapons. Let's take her instead of Atle to have her with me as well. Oh, they're all there. Oh, that's not nice. Kinda like them better when they're split up a bit. Okay. It says turn next. Yes. That was to be expected. I wonder whether it makes sense to have like Gandalf come in first and take off some of their strength. Okay, anybody who's standing diagonally next to each other. I also don't want to go too far in, so let's see how far I can go. None of these are diagonally to each other, but he has the most life, so I want to take some of that. I know the amazing power of this is like if it carries over diagonally, but since we can't do that, I'd rather take off some life. So they can't attack us as well anymore. This might be too close. He detected. 90% chance and he's still like, yay, dodged. I think I'll go here and actually batter him away. I don't know whether it's good. Okay, need to kill him. A lot closer first. It's always unfortunate if I need to kill them, because then they can't. Okay. Where's the most alive? It's him. So I'll do this. Yes. That was 6 damage. Anybody standing there? Still nobody standing diagonally. Come on, guys. How do I line them up to stand diagonally? The nice thing is about this, it goes past the armor. Let's shoot both of these. Him out of the way. I wonder whether I can use that to line them up diagonally. This one actually has the most life right now. I mean, not anymore. He's using like a special power. Nobody? Anybody diagonally? Now? Fine. Don't stand diagonally then. Go here and shoot the 2 of them. Get away from him. I love how he does it with his head. Oh, he can't use it because he's been bewitched. %50 chance? Yep. She can do it. Do anything about it, he can't do anything about it. He can't do anything about it, but she can! 8 damage, take that. Victory! Let's see what this town holds for us. And I can promote Morgan some more. Nid is injured, so I can like swap between Nid and Ottleaf. This town's nothing but ghosts, and now covered in more dredge bodies too. Remarkably, as you're about to leave, you find an old man sitting quietly in a tattered market stall with a couple items in front of him. He hums to himself as if nothing go wrong and seems to be in shock. Your clansmen gather him into the caravan before you leave. I got 1 clansman. Well, there was a market, you say. 1 gets me 10. Count me in. That is amazing. So, you know how we're in this city that's just covered in dredge and there's even more bodies and there's one lone survivor and he's in shock? Yeah, let's just rest here. It's good for morale. But anyway, that's quite good. Now we have 12 days, 11 days worth of supplies. So we get to travel on some more and see what it holds us. A group of men with broad shoulders and thick cloaks approach the caravan. There might be outlaws you hear nearby, and the idea quickly rebels with the clansmen. One of the stranger brought saying, "We've run out of food. Any help would be welcome." His eyes reveal nothing of his motivations. You consider you want to approach this. Give us more information? The man gets nervous and reveals sturdy weapons. He warriors step forward as the leader holds out the hand, saying loudly, "The last group that asked us questions tried to kill us. Tried. Let's keep this simple. Will you help us or not?" Oh! I want to help them, I want to take them with me, but what if they're outlaws? They are running around with weapons. Because if I take them with me, they could potentially do even more harm. If I decline help, that might be a fight, because they might be desperate. If I just give them some, I'll just lose some supplies. Like, any of these options could be good or bad, and I don't know exactly what it is. And that is unfortunate. Fight with us. Burn your money. The man looks surprised by your offer. In short order, they joined our caravan and start sharing tales and drinks. Unfortunately, it is less than a day later that you discover they've vanished along with a sizable portion of the supplies. Yes. So that's that. I'm too trustworthy. I thought I was doing good. But no. That's what I get for being nice. She has a spear and a scroll of writing. And a lot of, like... The godson of Ingrid, goddess of knowledge, looks on as the caravan takes as much need or rest. I have issued some children from a solitary trudge slinger lying dead beneath a stone. Should we be worried about that, you ask Ava, pointing to a trudge buddy. I don't think so, he replies. Still, it couldn't hurt to have a few guards look around. Owls pass without warning. Let's inspect the godstone. Ingrid's godstone is carved with ancient runes, which don't make much sense to you, though Avon tells you some of the Mendir have deciphered them. It's how the Mendirs learned the language of gods. Past the largest stone, a long series of slabs contain more writing all the way down the hill. The odd thing, he tells you, is that the writing occasionally changes depending on who is reading it. Usually it describes the history of the gods, but it can be about nearly any topic. Sadly, Ivan doesn't know how to read it himself. Junicourt, he says. So let's move on. As you're reading to the part, you hear screams from the main godstone. The same boy so curious about the trash before, shrieking and pointing. For a moment you think it must have not been dead, but then you see that they have opened a wrapping that was in the Twitch's hand. Wait, says Eva, his arms across the chest. This shouldn't be seen. Get everyone away. A chill sweeps over you. The light pushes past and goes, "Stop!" shouts Ivor, but the curious onlookers have already seen it. Leave it. On the ground before the dead slinger is a small stony figure, its hand searching for something it can't find. That's a baby. That Trudge is a woman? We've been killing women. We've been slaughtering women and children this whole time. You're a woman. You might be get killed. Like, leaving them to die? In a war, it's only the males who fight. We've been fighting this Trudge the whole way. Why are the women with children on their backs attacking us? They're not invading. They're running. Everyone stops dead in their tracks. The entire caravan is gathered around the gas. When I spoke to Juno, she told me something was coming. She didn't know what. A darkness, something black is covering the world, and the Trudge are running from it just as we are running from them. Serpent, the quake, it's all the beginning of the end. Ivory, you knew. Why didn't you say something? This isn't the time. When I was young, I killed one of the Sandra. During the Second Great War. We call it race. Every time we could build our defense, it would flatten them and push us back again. I became separate from the rest of the van, stumbled upon Race deep in the snow, alone. She was nursing. Through my axe, it twisted in the wind. Her son died in her arms. She was so pathetic, kneeling in the snow. She didn't even try to stop me when I took her head. That's how I killed Sandra. When I found my way to Grofheim, the Val wanted to make me Kindler. Next to be king. I left. Walked until I ended up in Skorgo, where no one knew what I had done. That is harsh. Like, I knew he was a hero and he faced the gigantic Bellower. and lost his arm in the process. But he must have known that he has no chance if that is how he killed the first one. Wow. For a long time nobody says a thing until a child breaks the silence. What do we do with the baby, she asked. A lump forms in your throat, looking at a small obsidian creature swimming before you. Let's take it with us. Let's take it with us. You argue strongly for showing mercy and humanity. Some of the women in the caravan hesitantly agreed to take in the Twitch infant, while others affirms about bringing it along. Not long afterwards, one of the women comes to you. Its Spirelli was being held by this, she says. Give me a hairpin that looks distinctly untouched. An inscription on the silver almost slips your notice. Preserved. From the goddess herself, if you ask me, the woman told you. Voucher and silver approach. Yeah, that is such a toughie because, like, what do you do? It's not like the child has anything to do with what is happening. I don't know whether they have a natural aggression against humans and wild though. That is the other thing. You know, like, no matter how you raise, let's say, animals, they still have some natural ways to, or natural instincts to kill. And sometimes you can raise them in a way where they don't. But you can't be sure of it, right? The fireman consists of more clansmen than you ever expected. Accusations of stolen chicken, missing heirlooms, and concerns over Durda's riches are the sort of thing you hear relentlessly. Even fighters complain of spreading too thin to protect. Let's keep the people useful and too busy. Go, like, collect food. Firewood collection, scouting, gathering of edibles, weapon training, and wagon repair keep your clansmen busy, and usually too tired to complain. She'll slow the caravan, but the result of peace and productivity feels worth it. There you go. Nice. Zircon, it's in the distance. You can keep going. Actually, if there is a fight, I'd rather rest up to have my morale a bit better. I want to start in a happy morale.
As Sigurholm approaches, we fear the worst. The once calm lake surrounding it now looks like a bowl that has been flipped. Proud home sinking into muddy water. A side effect of the quake.
So it's not the happy place you want it to be?
Side of those mountains.
Gonna. You are the hero of this group. He swapped storylines. So, is this the place where we're supposed to meet Juno? Is this the place where we are going to meet Juno? One catastrophe to another, says Artleaf as you pull into Sigurholm. The town appears to be sinking into the lake. Townspeople peek from dark windows and makeshift hovels further up the hill. No, says Evan, looking frantic. Where is she? He runs to the front of the caravan, looking out over the water. Juno isn't here, and you get the creeping feeling you're not welcome either. Going upriver looks out of question. Do you just bear sight from occasional skeleton of a ruined fishing boat? You reluctantly set up camp in a sinking town. All I'm saying is, how long are you willing to wait? While taking stock of caravan, you inadvertently walk into a debate between Artleif and Eowyn. As long as we need to. And I think we need to get out of here. I don't feel good about this place. Why? What's wrong? Something doesn't feel right. The people here are staring at us like those vultures in the wastes. Sorry, Evan, I think Artleif is right. I saw a man the whole time we were setting up, he was just watching me. In a creepy way. Unfortunately, I know what that feels like. And how long before the Twitch find us here? Juno will come. Just give it a little more time. Rook, listen to me. I need you to trust me on this. Well, I mean, what's in it for in the market? One just gets me 3. I do think I should invest some. I'm just going to ignore him because he's just going to tell me that we need to stay. But I already decided that I don't want to. So let's not try this out. Rook, wait, please! Evan back. She said she'd be here. We need her. Can tell he's terrified of leaving us, though he'd be giving up on Juno. Sure, she'll catch up with us. Evan looks out across the lake with 1,000 miles still. He says nothing. We've got problems, said Howard. The whole place is flooded. We could try to walk the muddy parts, but it'll be slower going. We could try to float the caravan over the lake, but we might tip or get stuck, or we could just go around the whole thing, but no idea how long it'll take. Attempt. You pack everything up and take as much weight off the bag as you can. Soon you're walking through ankle-deep water and thick mud, hoping that the rest of the caravan can hold out. The footing is sticking slow, but the water isn't too deep outside the town. It takes a while, but you manage to cross the enormous mud pit outside of Sigrun with an intact, if not cranky, caravan of people. Okay. Now where do we go, though? Like, all I said is I don't want to stay here. I don't want to be watched by people like vultures watching you. So where's our next goal? Because this was the goal. This was where Juno was supposed to meet us, right? And I'm pretty sure that Juno can find us because she seems extremely powerful. But where are we going? Are we just continue onwards? We need more supplies soon. Please. Scout returns with a nearly frozen child. I almost stepped on her in the snow. Looks like she must have been running from something, he says. Petals blue model her pale skin, but her chest rises and falls ever so slightly. Even just carrying her along could kill her in a state like this, says a woman. We could be in danger here, points out another. Keep moving, but the healer said to her, we only have food for 2 more days. We can't stay. Fighters stay alert for any threat while the caravan moves on. The healer dropped the girl's arms and legs under blankets to no avail. An hour later, when Healer approaches with tears in her eyes, she says nothing, only shakes her head. I'm sorry. If I would have had more food, then I would have stayed. I might have even looked for people, but if you look at this, there's 650 men and Val in my caravan, and I can't always do the good thing, because look at this. This is my last food. If we don't reach anything within a day's turn, then we're gonna start starving. You notice most of it all pacing while others sleep. Brief conversation with the other clansmen grow short and sharper. Go away, roars one while at the young girl, asking him too many questions. All the clansmen stop and stare. Okay, I'll send the Val ahead in the caravan to put some space between you. We could all use a bit of space to stretch, you say to the giant. Why don't you and the other Val take the lead? Set the pace. We'll follow. He looks at you and nods, appreciating the graceful compromise. The giant explains, we live in the north for its space, endless miles of snow, ice, mountains, fields, space to be alone. But here there is no time for such things. Understanding slowly trickles through the caravan, relieving some of the tension. Please, food. I'm serious here. And I'm starving. There was 9 people right there. 10. The villagers here are completely oblivious to the destruction that is coming. All I've seen is some dark figures far off, they tell you. Aside from a few young families, they're reluctant to pack up the things and join you. One gets me 5, so let's stock up. I don't even have enough food to level anymore. You're really worried about her, aren't you? What? Oh, Juno. Worry doesn't begin to describe it. If she doesn't find us here, something has happened to her. Are you sure what you saw was real? Could have been a dream, or I don't know, you were pretty exhausted. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure anymore. Everything is a blur. Don't tell the others I said it. I have to hope it wasn't just a dream. I won't take any more time. I appreciate the talk. It's good to stay grounded. I spent all day worrying about serpents and Sandra. I think a lot of people are intimidated or scared maybe. Me. Don't worry, it's nothing I'm used to it. Maybe sometime we could talk about things that don't include the world in. Yeah, I don't know, for some reason I didn't feel like talking to him just because I'm not sure whether my decision to move on was correct, but he so desperately wanted us to stay, and I'm not happy about that either. So I'm not sure how to feel about him, and I feel like this conversation was not meant to happen in this town, it was meant to happen in a town before. Because it's supposed to, you know, click on the icon if it wants to talk to you. Oh man, people are grumpy. I just don't know how far the next village is. Once I see it, I can rest. No encouragement of tales of glory will lift the spirits of the killer. In the north we have time like this, says one of them all. The other giant grins, raising 10 gets and horns of meat. Skull, they shout. Make a short work of the drinks. Explain that each person takes a drink when someone tells a story that is more miserable than the last. Let join them for a second round and meat is passed your way. Join the giants in drinking. Taking the meat, you shout Skull. The crowd cheers and laughter echoes through the camp. For hours, as each person caps up with increasingly more absurd stories of woe. The Val's remedy is success, and the caravan is in a much better mood the following day, albeit hungover and will less meat than before. But you know, gotta do some drinking games. That's how you keep going on the road. Sounds of skirmish are likely to Val surrounded by half a dozen armed fighters. One man shouts, spots you and shouts, leave us to our business. This Val killed my father without reason. The Val's about to respond when a man attacks. The giant spreads the blood aside and suddenly watches for the next assault. Let's hear what the Val has to say. Val shrugs as if unconcerned, saying, this one's father and I had a business deal. He lied, now he's dead. Lies, said the man, you murdered him over a lie, you coward? The man lightly attacked the Val, who deflects him all well enough, but you're uncertain of how long he can keep it going. I want to defend him. He seems nice enough. Because if he was just being aggressive, he could also kill these people easily, but he's just defending them. It's like I picture in my mind like somebody having a kid attack them, just being like, yes, whatever, and shrug it off. So he's obviously not a bad Val, so I'll defend him. Obviously. We could use any Val with a good sword arm, couldn't we? He nods, spreading his weapon. The men immediately back off, the prospect of fighting your entire army suddenly unappealing. You watch from a distance, shouting obscenities and something about injustice. The Val turns toward you. Didn't need the help, but if I'm going to travel, it might as well be in the company of other Val. Falls in line with the others, and you return to travel. One Val. And some money. That's good. There's so many decisions in this, and almost every single one of them makes me be like, no, what am I supposed to do? What is the correct thing here? What am I doing? Look at that! Hogan and Mogan are not walking next to each other. Is it because of their fallout? They were fighting at one point. I interrupted them and told them to like, don't fight, I guess. So I don't know whether that's it. Oh, he looks to be of war or of meat. He has a giant horn. Yeah, he has more training. He seems to be the god of meat. The imposing guts of Spirelli approaches. Silver visage makes it feel like he's watching you even now. Command spreads out, happy to be free of confining forests and in open fields. Okay, I think we're gonna stop it here because we're gonna rest this stone now, and then we can move on in the next one. See you then!